I was thinking, since I did jumping jacks the other day, that was unexpected. Because I eat regular, I don't work out.
And so that like feeling of like being in the present almost doesn't feel good.
As a woman too, you're thinking of so much already, and there's so much that's involved with becoming a woman.
It was getting pretty bad because I just didn't know what to do with myself, and I was praying for a busier schedule, and now I have it. And now it's like, oh my gosh, this is too much. How do I like balance it?
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Off the Clock Talk. I'm Kanaya.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're going to talk about some New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, New Year's resolution. So this should be coming out probably in maybe January. So it might be like the new year already. So we're talking about like different things about New Year's resolutions.
And if they're even necessary, which some may say they're not, but some may say they are. So we're going to dig into that.
What's ones that you have done in the past that you have succeeded? Or how have you even done New Year's resolutions? Is it?
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
No, sorry. I've done New Year's resolutions. I don't know if I've been like one to be strict about it every year and do them, but recently I've done them. And yeah, particularly. See, I told you earlier my grammar was going to be off today.
It's all good. We could probably cut that out, or I probably will. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just going to run this whole thing all the way through or not.
In particular, last year mainly is when I tried to really stick to my resolutions. So last New Year's, which is now this year. So this year I've tried to stick to my New Year's resolutions.
What were they?
So my New Year's resolutions for this year were couple. I should have looked over my notes that I had for my resolutions because
we're going straight into it. Off memory.
Off the hook. So I know one of them was to read my Bible more, and that's something that I feel very accomplished of doing because I'm like 2 days away now from reading the whole Bible. I have a little Bible plan that I follow on my phone, and I've been like 300 days in all, and I'm on like day, I don't know, 324 or something.
You're really almost done? Like you'll probably be done next week?
Like this weekend.
This weekend you'll be done?
I haven't read today's, so once I read today's and tomorrow's, I just have 2 days left. I'll be done.
It's better than me.
The whole Bible, bro.
The whole thing?
I mean, I don't really remember a whole lot of it. Like I don't know if I understood it fully, but I at least attempted to read it, and that's what that was my resolution.
That's good. I admire you for that. I really want to try to read that at some point. I might do the audiobook though.
Yeah, I don't blame you actually.
Yeah.
Some days I flipped it, some days I read it, and then others I listened to it because the plane has the play mode. But yeah, that was one of them. And another one was to just, save more money. I feel like that's always good to try and do. And I wanted to I'm a big saver, so I wanted to just like set a bigger goal for myself and challenge myself on saving money. And then buy a new car in return. Once I've saved a certain amount, buy a new car. And then just live in the present. That was definitely one of the resolutions I wanted to have. And I feel like if we get into like talk of which ones we didn't really do so well on, I feel like that's one of them.
We'll get to that in a minute.
And yeah, and then lastly, I think the other on my list was to be a loving wife.
Well, you did pretty good on that one.
Thank you. I hope I've done a decent job on that. So, but what about you? What are your resolutions that you had this last year, I guess?
Well, I definitely have plenty to talk about and ones that I didn't do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I probably have more that are like in line of not succeeded than I did succeeded. And then I also have some that kind of like popped up and that were unexpected that were successful. But like whenever I created my New Year's plans, I think the ones that I did do good on was, and this is probably going to be every year for the rest of my life, but just try to be a better person, like in general. So be a better husband, be a better grandson, be a better, not father, but puppy father maybe. So that one would probably be like down the line, but like just overall, like be better in like all these different aspects, be a better employee. I think one of my resolutions was to like make more money and I know that's very like materialistic kind of thing, but I wanted to be like, just like at some point, whether that means like get a new job or get another stream of income coming in. And I think I succeeded in that sense. We both had the resolution of getting a new car. So we both got that. That was really cool. Still super excited about that. What else? I literally have this written down, but we're using my phone as the notes for the podcast. So I just have to like go off memory.
Off the hook, man.
Off the hook. Off writ. Those are the ones that I think I did good on. I have more about like not succeeding. So we could transition into that.
Okay, yeah. We should, because based on your notes, you had some that we succeeded in. Do you have any you succeeded in? Should we start with that, or should we go more into the ones we didn't succeed in? Because that sounds like it's more of a pile to dig through.
I think the ones that I succeeded in were more like on the unexpected ones. Like we started a book club that was not expected. That was not a New Year's resolution. But because of that, I started reading more books. And we started a book club. And I'm only 10 pages in on that current book. But it sounds like I might the extension. So I might actually be able to read that book. But I read more books this year than I have in my entire life. So like I was able to actually start reading. So that was cool. Only just now recently I started to take like working out seriously again. So that's one that I kind of didn't really do too good on. It kind of was like good in the beginning and then it went off and then at the end it's back. That one's the one that's like more of like I consider that not succeeding, but that one was probably one of the big ones that I wasn't expecting to be, was reading.
Yeah, reading. I think that it's been great to start the book club. So I don't know. I think any excuse for me to read for fun is an accomplishment. And I love that you've gotten to use that and increase your book experience with. So that's cool.
What about you? Any other ones before we move on to not succeeded?
Yeah, I know. I was like, there's some I've not succeeded in, which we can start discussing. But
I guess unexpected ones.
Unexpected. I've never thought of unexpected, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe that I should try what you do and go work out regularly. Like the fact that you're attempting to do that is good, and I should.
It's hard. It's one of the hardest things. It's harder now than it has ever been for me, but.
I was thinking, since I did jumping jacks the other day, that was unexpected. I don't work out.
Oh yeah, you did 50?
Yeah, I did 50, and I was like, wow, that's a good accomplishment for the day. I did 50 jumping jacks.
Hey, that is something. Better than not doing anything.
But I should actually I should set that as a New Year's resolution to go work out and regularly keep that up. Maybe another year. I don't know. I don't know if I've had many unexpected ones. Yeah, not off the top of my head.
So you scheduled everything.
Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, things happen unexpectedly for sure in my life. So.
But the big ones were all like planned out. Like I'm gonna get a new car.
Yeah.
I read the whole Bible.
Well, yeah, those were on my list for New Year's resolutions. So are you saying unexpected goals that you accomplished this year is what you're talking about? Yeah,
like I think we'll get into this later, but like a New Year's resolution for the new year coming in for me is going to be read more books. But that one is one that I would not have expected to be a New Year's resolution because I didn't even think I was going to start reading books this year.
Then I guess for me it could be because I might be going into student mode again, hardcore, in which case I feel like I'm not going to have a lot of extra time on my hands, but I could make time to work out next year and have that as one of my New Year's resolutions since it was an unexpected goal recently. On my 50 jumping jacks.
Yeah.
Could take that and use that to start a regular workout routine.
Yeah.
Maybe that. And I don't really know. Nothing's coming to mind, really. So maybe we'll circle back. I don't know.
All right. Well, failures. What have you failed at?
Oh, so ones that I failed at. Definitely, I feel like I wasn't like one to live in the present that much this year, as much as I'd like to have been. I'm one to like think ahead, or I feel like I have to think ahead a lot and plan ahead, in which case leads me to constantly thinking personally about those situations that I'm planning ahead for rather than realizing where I'm at, and that's not good. I don't think that's healthy. And yeah, I think you can miss out on a lot if you do that, and I feel like in some cases I do miss out on a lot. So I definitely think that at least in the halfway mark of this year, I was like, gosh, I haven't really been living in the present. So I don't know, maybe towards the end of the year I kind of really tried to dedicate time to living in the present, and I'd say maybe about a fourth of this year I was able to like really focus on that, or I really tried to focus on that, but a lot of this year I really just kind of pushed that one aside. So
That one's hard to do.
yeah, it is. It's hard. I don't know. When you just think ahead, I feel like as a woman too, you're thinking of so much already, and there's so much that's involved with becoming a woman, and like, I don't know. I recently got married, so like I'm thinking of like buying a house. Yeah, if we have kids, and like, I don't know. I just get into this rabbit hole of thinking of like possibilities and planning for those, and like doing them now, saving up for them now. So I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I don't want to be publicly the interrupter. I'm trying to stop that.
No, it's okay.
New Year's resolution, not interrupt.
No, it's all good. Yeah. Okay. I might be like rambling at this point, so feel free to cut me off. But anyways, last thing I guess I'll say is I think it's just really easy to maybe get excited about the future, or just maybe get nervous and then just start to plan ahead either way, which is not bad. But when you do it in an like unhealthy amount, that's when it gets concerning.
It's also hard to live in the present when you're so used to doing so many things. Like you have like this big to-do list, and you're like, I'm going to get this done, and this done, and then tomorrow I'm going to do this, and this. That whenever you're actually living in the present, you're not thinking about any of that. You're like, I should be doing something right now. And so that like feeling of like being in the present almost doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I need to be doing something. I have that. I'm working on that. But I think I've done pretty good at being able to live in the present. But that also can be bad, because I could easily detach myself from everything and just be like, yeah, I'll do it, but I'll worry about that later. And then I end up forgetting about something that's like maybe big or small, and I'm like, oh, I didn't do this thing, I forgot, like I didn't read the book or something. So that way whenever we go to the book club, I'm like, I'm not 10 pages in, I don't know what you're talking about.
Totally not an hour ago situation.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see how that'd be really hard. I think just in general being more in the present is good for everybody, but everybody has it differently. I think I do decent at it, but there are days where I'm like, I'm doing too much. And like recently, like I did so much, I got sick from it.
Right. That too is a outcome for over planning, I think, and just, overstimulating partner.
Yeah, an overstimulated partner. But at some point, it's like you have to like put in, when you're so scheduled, you have to schedule the downtime. And I'm probably hitting this, which is probably causing it to pick up on the mic. I'm going to stop doing that. But you almost have to like schedule your downtime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy to just overlook, because it's like, well, I'm not doing anything right now. So if something pops up, it's like, oh, that downtime's not important.
I relate to that. Like, I think you and I were literally talking about this yesterday when you had felt like you had something to do, but you had done everything that you thought you had to do, and you just had that free time on your hands to where you felt like something needed to be filling that free time. So much so because you're always just doing something constantly. Yeah.
And I was having this fear, like there should be something that I'm doing and I'm not doing it. Well, I guess I don't have anything to do, but my fear is that I'm going to remember what that thing was later. And it was the book.
Yeah.
I forgot to read the book.
Book club book.
And I have to write everything down, which is one of the things that, going back to the succeeding, I started to be more scheduled, be more of a scheduled person. Mm-hmm. You inspired me to do that because you're such a scheduled person that like you get so much done. You're so productive. And I was like maybe 1/16 of that. So I started just to write everything down. If something comes up, I literally have to stop what I am doing and write it down. Yeah,
I appreciate that have been an inspiration, and that's what works for me is having things written down. I will forget if it's not written down, so that just helps me stay organized, helps me stay on track of things to do. But I can also, like I was saying, get carried away with writing too much down. So I feel like that's easy to do, but I think that's good though that you've tried to change you don't have to change, but find what works for you in order to stay on schedule. But not too much. Like, yeah, maybe schedule time to relax because it's important to still take time for yourself and relax.
Yeah. So that was, I think we went on a tangent of like scheduling and being in the present. Was there another one that was like a New Year's resolution that you didn't do too good on?
I feel like maybe the saving money one. I am a big saver, but I'm also learning what it's like to be married and have a savings account together. And I feel like there were at least a couple of moments where I maybe was like, no, just go ahead and do this, go ahead and buy this, or like, because it's maybe something that if I were by myself, wouldn't usually do, but like I'm married and I want to do what you want to do sometimes. So like compromise, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and go get that food. Let's get that pizza, or I don't know, let's go get those crazy puffs.
Yeah, see, notice it's all me. I'm the one that spends the money here.
But there are instances, especially recently, where I've been wanting to buy things. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's hard though. I think one of my resolutions was to be more of a saver, and I think I've done pretty good at it, but I'm definitely not where I would like to be. Because I think I've learned to postpone my spending rather than just have something come in and I'm like, ooh, I want that, I'm just gonna buy it. It's more of like ooh, I want that, I will buy it, just not right now.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good mindset to have. Like, budget it, like maybe save up for it, just not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I definitely feel like, to answer your question, that saving money is one of the ones that I don't think I did horrible on. Not as bad as living in the present, but definitely could have worked on that one a little bit, probably more. What about you?
I think the biggest one was, I touched on it a little bit a minute ago, but the fitness thing.
One that you could have worked on more?
Yeah, I started working out in 2015, which is almost 10 years ago.
Almost 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
From this date, at least.
Yeah, so my ultimate New Year's resolution in 2015 was to gain 150 pounds. And I remember watching Man of Steel, and I saw a scene with Henry Cavill.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to look like that. And there was like a little voice in me that was like, you can look like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe this is actually possible. So I stepped on the scale, and it said I was like 87 pounds. And I was like, this is broken. It was an old scale. So I brought out another scale that was older and more broken. But I was like, if this one certainly will tell me more along the lines of what I am. And it said like 97. So I think that one was actually more accurate. But I was still under 100 pounds. And so I was like, I need to start bulking up and gaining weight. So I like ordered a stuffed crust pizza when they had one slice. And I got full.
I love that it was stuffed crust.
Yeah. And so that's like the beginning of it. So flash forward all the way to now. You would think after 10 years I hit my goal. I'm 150 pounds. I look more like Henry Cavill, like whenever I wanted to be. I'm not even there. I'm 145 pounds. So 10 years has passed and I haven't gotten there. I'm like right there though.
You have improved.
I have definitely improved, but it's been the biggest journey ever. And I think it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, which is just trying to put on weight and have it be the good weight. Because I could put on weight and have it be bad if I'm just eating Doritos and chips all day. But putting on the right type of weight is super hard because it's something that is a huge commitment physically, but also it takes up your time. You have to cook, and I don't like cooking. I'd rather just have something instantaneously and convenient. But then you also have to make time for the gym and actually go. And whether you're feeling good or not, like, well, you have to listen to your body. But like sometimes if you're like, oh, I'm just kind of tired, I don't really want to go. That's an easy path to just slip up on, which is what I did this year. I was like, it's just like there's a lot more going on. I got a full-time job, and like I want to spend time here with you. Like if you're watching a movie, I want to watch that movie with you, even if I've never heard about the movie and I'm just like not interested in it. If you're watching it and you're interested in it, I'm like, I wanted to sit here and watch it with you rather than just go be by myself at the gym.
Aw, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's really hard for me to be like, go away. Yeah, I go to the gym. Of course I want you to watch the movie with me. But today actually was a really good example of you choosing to go to the gym instead.
But I went and I was guilty the whole time. I was like, man, I could just be home because you're watching a Christmas movie. And I didn't know you were watching a Christmas movie, but I was trying to like not like be present, be in the moment at the gym.
Yeah.
But it was hard because I'm like, I just want to go home. It also doesn't help that I am kind of tired.
But you still went.
Still
which
went.
is a big accomplishment.
It's a win for today.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can keep it up. That's the goal. That's going to be what's hard.
Yeah, I mean, goals are sometimes hard, and that's what makes them challenging. And yeah, that's the same thing. So I don't know. I wasn't going to try to say something wise, but it didn't come out right.
But yeah, that's my biggest flop of my New Year's resolution from 10 years ago that has been a New Year's resolution ever since then. It's always on there, like get to 150 pounds is always the exact one. And maybe I could do it this year. Since I'm so close, I could probably get it. But I'm even okay with just still being the same weight or not gaining any weight, but just having it be more refined. I also don't want to gain too much weight because I'll buy clothes and then they immediately get too small. And then I have to buy more, which results in spending more, like what your New Year's resolution is. So I'm trying to like not have to do that. But that's one that maybe I could actually succeed this year, but have failed for 10 years.
Hey, but the fact that you still keep it on your list, and look, I might add working out to my list.
Hey, and then we could be
friends. We can go together.
Yeah.
And I just might not get up at 6 in the morning to go work out.
It's hard. It is hard. And especially, this is actually a whole nother New Year's topic. So I'll get into that later. Time management is a hint. But do you have any more? Because that was like my big one that's swept everything up. Everything else is like kind of a soft win where it's like save more money. I did that softly. Or just be a better person. I did that, but I'm always going to probably feel like I could be better. Like I would say that like in the past I have improved overall from where I was like last year. But there are still days, like even today, like I accidentally cut somebody off in traffic and I was like, I'm such a terrible person.
I don't think you're terrible. I think that's good to be aware, though, of how you can improve yourself. Not all the time, but there's always room for improvement. I think it's healthy, and I think it keeps you humble if you always look at what you can do to help better yourself.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, if I have any more, I have one that I was going to maybe ask you about, which is if I have been a loving wife this year. I hope so, but I definitely have some critiques in myself that I'll say after I hear what you have to say.
No, you have been. You swept it perfectly.
Cool. Yes, that's the final answer. You have been.
Yeah, swept it. Perfect score. No problems.
Thank you. I definitely think, though, that I recently, at least this, like towards the end of this year, I was one to like spiral a lot and just really get caught up in craziness that, you know, if something happened that was unexpected, then I would just be like, oh my gosh, everything is falling apart now, and just fall down the spiral, the rabbit hole. I feel like I should work on that next year, not spiraling as much when things unexpectedly happen, because that's part of life. Bad things unexpectedly happen.
Yeah, patience is hard to have, especially like if it's like whenever it builds up, like little things. So it's like you dropped your keys, but your hands are full, so you have to try to pick that up. And that's not really a big deal, but then all of a sudden you accidentally spill some coffee in your car, and then you're like, oh, this is getting really frustrated. And then somebody cuts you off in traffic, or like maybe it's just really heavy and you're like running a little bit late, which usually isn't a big deal. But like as it compounds up more and more, that like by the time you get home and I accidentally forgot to wash a dish or something, that could be the thing that just like,
I feel like, yeah, it's so easy for that to happen. Just with, I mean, any scenario with any couple, I feel like that could happen. I hope like I haven't done that with you. I'm trying to think of a specific scenario. One that comes to mind that I know I spiraled was the hack.
yes,
we encountered.
That one is reasonable though, because it's not a good thing for your bank account to get hacked.
That was really unexpected and disappointing.
Yeah, I think we, funny enough, we were watching the Kardashians last night, and they were talking about like trauma responses, like how like some people will react in a way that's extremely calm, probably way too calm, and that's me. So like if you tell me your bank account has been hacked and you have $0 left, I'm gonna just sit there and be like, oh, that's not good. But I'm like really calm about it. I'm just thinking very logistically, like, what's the next step then? Like, what do I do? Like, it's so bad it doesn't even register in my head. I'm like, this is bad, but I guess what do I do?
I feel like it's okay to be calm in some instances where things go wrong, but in the others, it's maybe not. And I am the opposite. I start to, like I said, spiral. Just think of all the possible, like all the wrong things. I'm like, oh my gosh, no money, no food, no resources. Like my head just goes down the rabbit hole. I keep saying that. That's my favorite word, this podcast, rabbit hole. Or
Maybe that's the
words.
title of this is rabbit hole.
Yeah, rabbit
New
hole.
Year's resolution / rabbit hole.
But yeah, I just like, I don't know. I get in this panic. So to go off what you were saying, I think I'm one to like, usually I flight. We can discuss like fight responses. Definitely.
For like another episode. Rabbit holes is another, I'm going to write it down.
Oh yeah.
Rabbit holes. That's a good idea.
Cool. I created another podcast topic. But yeah, I would just, I don't know. In a scenario where like, depending on the situation, let's say, there was someone coming at me with a weapon. I'm a flight. I run. You know this. Grace knows this. Lots of people know this. And in your case, he said, I guess you're calm. Like, would you?
I'm a freeze.
You're
So
a
I'll be like,
freeze.
hang on.
Right.
That's danger. You have a knife. That's not good. Okay, now, whoop, and then go in.
Yeah, like, my brain is just like, no.
Just run.
And anyways, so tracing back to, reacting to just unexpected situations such as the hack that we encountered, I was just like, oh my gosh, they're going to take all our money. What do we got to change all our cards, like change our cards, change the accounts that have our cards. And it just immediately, I think it was a long day too, which I know is not an excuse, but.
It like builds up though.
Yeah.
What we were saying.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like how you had explained with like the coffee spilling in the car and then the plate that you maybe didn't wash or something. Like it built up, definitely. Different scenarios, but it was still the same process of building up for me. So, I don't know. But should we go into like the hack?
That could maybe be another episode.
Okay,
we're already
I'm like ready.
we're already 30 minutes in, so.
Oh, that's good. This is This is easy.
So the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode is what are New Year's resolutions for this year, and are they even necessary? Like for a new year. But we'll get into that here in a second. But what's your list for this year?
I feel like I've been going first a lot. I want you to go if you want.
Okay, I'll go ahead. The biggest one is going to be time management.
Okay, yeah.
Be better at time management. It is so difficult because I felt like whenever I was working at Home Depot, I was only there part-time. It was 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I had all the time in the world to do anything that I wanted to do during the day. And that was great until it wasn't, where I actually had too much free time and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I felt like I was just putting busy work on myself. So I would like work on video projects, but I wasn't getting paid for it. So it didn't feel like it was worth it. And that's all like the whole reason why I was like, I'm going to create the biggest short film I've ever done. And I've never finished it. And I don't know if I ever will, but that's another episode for another day. It was getting pretty bad because I just didn't know what to do with myself. And I was praying for a busier schedule. And now I have it. And now it's like, oh my gosh, this is too much. How do I like balance it between going from having a full-time job and now I still have all these other things that I want to do? So it's a blessing for sure. But the other side of it is that like now I don't have time to do the things that I was just doing for fun. Like now I'm getting paid for it. Now it's my career, but I'm not doing it for fun anymore. And so it's now I have to like, back then I was forcing I need to get paid for this, but all I was doing was having fun. But now it's like I'm getting paid for it, but all I want to do is go back to having fun again.
Right.
So now that I have a job that allows me a 4-day work week and working from home, it's like I really shouldn't have any excuse. Like even I'll tell people like, oh, people will tell me like, you have a 4-day work week. How do you not have time for this? And I'm like, dude, you're right. How is that a thing? Like, so that kind of made me like think like, how can I do this? And like, there's different techniques that you could use for time management. The one that I do, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's called Pomodoro, I think. But it's where you have like a certain amount of time on and then a certain time to take a break. And hopefully that's going to work out and stay consistent, because then I'm able to like, I'll work on this for a little bit and then in my break, I could just do whatever I want. I could scroll Instagram or go wash a dish or something, and then go back to doing meaningful work. And then my Fridays that I have off, it's like a day off, right? But I also jam pack everything that I wanted to do throughout the week into one day. And that could also lead into overstimulation and being overworked because I'm trying to do a week's worth of things that I want to do in 1 week. So to wrap all that up into one thing is I want to be able to balance my time with being able to do the things that I have to do and need to be done, but also do more of the things that I want to do and prioritize that. So that's the biggest one. There's other ones like being more consistent with fitness is probably number 2. But it also ties into time management because it takes time to go to the gym and it takes time to cook, which all that kind of goes into one. I want to cook more. I want to learn more healthier foods that are like easy as possible to make and maybe meal prep more. But also figure out a way to go to sleep on time and have 7 hours of sleep. But that sucks because it's like you could be watching a movie, you're a night owl, and you like to stay up late, which I like to too, but I could be super sleepy, but you're watching a movie and I'm like half asleep and I'm like, what is she watching? And then I'll keep myself up to watch it with you. And then it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, I have to get up in a few hours. And then it's really easy for me to just be like, well, forget it. I'm just not going to get that much sleep. Like, and then just do it.
Which that's another topic, night owl versus morning person.
That's coming later.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
But no, that's understandable. Time management, I feel like, is always one to keep on the list at all times. I think that's always good to take into consideration. I see your struggle. Also, on behalf of me, I apologize for being a night owl, but I am just truly a night owl who enjoys watching a Disney movie or a Christmas movie or any movie at night.
That's perfectly fine. Like, I don't want you to stop that. But I also want to partake in it.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just hard for me because I have to be disciplined and say like, oh, you're watching a movie that I want to watch too.
Right.
Can't. Too bad. It's my bedtime. I got to sleep.
Maybe I should just be like, I'm not watching a movie. I'm...
Just don't tell me.
Yeah.
The less I know, the better.
Right. No, that's bold. Like, time management is always good to, I think, take into consideration. And when you actually do, I think that says a lot about you, that you're trying to just manage your time well. You're trying to be a better person. That's also the message from this podcast. Just try to, I don't know, look into what can better yourself, I guess.
But that's my big one. What's yours?
My big one for, I was really listening to what you were saying. So what was the big one?
It was time management.
No, like, sorry, like, are we supposed to be thinking about what big one we'll have for next year?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I'm gonna still put present, like live in the present more. That one I really need to work on. And then I may become a student again. I might go back to school. So that finishing school again is probably on there. Will be on there. And yeah, off the top of my head, those two. Maybe, not spiraling. I can work on that. I need to work on that, not spiraling.
Do you have any little ones that you want to get done?
Little ones. And working out. It's not really a little one. That one's going to be a big one. And so as far as the little one goes, maybe it's going to be hard if I'm a student and I'm studying, but going to bed maybe before midnight. I'm a night owl.
I'll help you with that.
We were talking about this though. I need my time to wind down, decompress, and not do anything, but like I'm not ready to go to sleep just yet, which I will save this conversation for that episode.
We'll check back in next year on this exact episode and see how we did.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see how we did. Gosh, but sounds good.